Morjesta! Today's band comes from Finland and it's probably one of the Finnish black metal bands you are not even aware of. That is, even I wasn't that much aware of this band much prior to the review here, even though I've heard the name. But the music, well, kinda has always gone past me. Now, this is the third album already by this flooded Church of Asmodeus, and it's a sort of a Right for Revenge side project. Maybe that is a little bit too much to be said, but the main man, Primus Motor, is pretty much the same guy, just with different moniker here. So as you can see, this is not your typical black metal cover, even if it's not the name. This is the willing followers of him. That is not a Ville Valo of him related thing, even though you might be thinking that, nor is this name related to Dungeons and Dragons, even though that was the kind of a first thing that came to my mind when I heard the name. Don't ask me why, it's just some adventure related thing. So here is the booklet. Very simple cover, very unconventional colors, yellow and black. Here is the backside of the booklet, and then we have this lineup image. As you can see, no lyrics whatsoever. And pay attention to these names: Martin, Hitler, King, Adolf, Christ, and Judas Schindler. Now, if that isn't a level of provocation, I don't know what is. And here we have finally the CD inlay, and there you go. Very minimal, no lyrics whatsoever. Only one track also on this album, and that is about 30 minutes long, so very much not your typical release. One could even claim that this is not so much about a black metal release than it's something else, and that's kind of true. If Right for Revenge is experimental black metal to say the least, this is very much more farther than that. This is kind of like combination of Right for Revenge's type of experimental black metal riffs and then actual noise, or even power electronics, one could say. So if you're not familiar with noisecore as a music genre, then you might have no clue what I'm talking about here. If you do, however, then you might just get an idea. So this is basically a combination of those kind of fuzzy guitars, primitive drumming, and then obviously those kind of noise elements. That it is very chaotic in music. One could say it's even sort of an anti-music, which I think could be very much to describe this album. So if you're really expecting kind of a normal or average black metal release, you're gonna be disappointed. I don't know to which kind of marginal audience this is suitable or recommending for, but I don't know. This is something you probably either give it a chance and like it, or most likely you won't. I had a kind of a tough cookie to crack with this one, because even though I have lots of interests outside metal music, I've never been much, into noise and power electronics, except for some live gigs. But music-wise, like recording an album, not really my cup of tea. And since I'm not either a big fan of Right for Revenge's music, I mean, I like the idea that they're creating something different. I like their atypical approach to metal music, black metal otherwise. But, riff-wise, kind of a grooviness, rock and roll, what do you call it? I find only some parts more enjoyable. And most are just like not really my cup of tea. Not necessarily bad, but, And as such, this is some hard cookie to come up with. I mean, like, you have to have kind of an acquired taste to just understand this one, not alone to, like it. And if you don't, probably won't be your cup of tea. But then again, once again, this is something of a unique nature. So it's kind of interesting to get into this. And unlike some outright bad albums, this is at least worth listening to. Maybe not catching your attention, maybe not suitable for background listening pleasure, whether you're working or doing some other stuff, hobby or whatever. But this kind of needs certain mindset, to certain feeling to get into that. Definitely worth a try, but just prepare yourself for an impact you are not gonna like. With these words, it's time to say goodbye and see you soon with more Rauta